to dark or dark to medium to light, whichever the case may be. Um, I use brushes that are applicable to the way I paint, and I basically use synthetic brushes because I find that they go along with my blending method. Um, keep in mind that when I paint a rose, I will be using this very satiny look, very defined, detailed type of a look. Some of the things that you will be looking at in some of the patterns that you will have in your hand will show a kind of a choppy look. But basically it's a very smooth blended look, and I achieve this by going from light, medium to dark in the application of my color and letting the brush do the blending. I put the paint on the surface, and then I have enough paint on there that my brush can work that paint very smoothly, and the brush does the work. I'm just merely there to guide it. I use very gentle pressure so that that paint moves and blends with the tip of the brush. As I paint, you'll notice that in most cases I will not press on the tip of my brush very heavily. The surface that I work on has a lot to do with this also. It's not a slick surface, it's not a coarse surface, it's usually a very smooth surface. And I try very hard to get a good surface. I don't want a slick surface or a very absorbent surface. So in most cases I'll use a combination of gesso and acrylic paint to come up with this surface. It took years to come up with this surface that worked well with this blending technique. And as I said, it came from the way I blended in my canvas painting, but I had to refine it a lot because I'm working in small detail instead of on a large canvas. So let's go to our board, and let me explain a little bit about my type of blending. As I've made several diagrams here, which maybe will help you understand a little bit. If you can see on this diagram here and this and this are the same. It's just that I have it put dark, medium, and light. Dark, medium, and light. Dark, medium, and light. Here I have dark, medium, and light. Dark, medium, and light. Dark, medium, and light. Now I'm talking value. I'm not talking color. I'm just talking value. So I have to, with my blending, achieve that same smooth look. I want a very smooth look. As some of the other areas on here, you can see I have light, medium, dark, and medium value. Remember the head of that little, monk? His head looked something like that. And basically it was a ball just like that. If you'll notice on here I have cool and warm, and neutral. Well, that means something too. That goes into the color. So not only do you think value of light, medium, and dark as this, but you think warm as opposed to cool. So it's not saying that this dark is the same dark as that, or that medium is the same medium as that. It's all relative to the surface and the colors that you're using. Now, if I were to paint that cube, I would take a brush that's about, good medium-sized brush that would fit the area. Okay, I'm going to just paint this very quickly. And let's say we're going to paint the front of this cube, and I want this to be my dark area here. So I'm applying color here, and I'm covering the surface with paint. And you can see I'm not skimping on the paint, but yet I'm not getting it too heavy. Okay. Now, I want a dark value here, but the next value I want is a medium, and the next value I want is a light value. So I'm going to take a medium value, which will be lighter than this, and I'm going to apply it next to that. When I'm applying color on beside color, I call this color placement. This is my terminology. I'm placing color side by side, and what I've come up with is a line between these two colors.